Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. So today we're working on crossing light. Now I debated back and forth, do I leave it original, do I not? I'm actually going to rewire it. The wiring is kind of old, it's corroding, and this thing's going to be outside. I hope for it to last a long time without me having to rip it apart and fix things. So I'm going to do it right and rewire all 4 lights before doing a test bench of the electronics I'm planning to put in it to make everything work, including the bell on top. So let's get at it. Okay guys, so we're in the thicket here. I got things torn a little apart off camera, just removing, this huge thing and some bolts. The reason I'm really going to replace these wires is this casing is just falling apart. I really want this to last a long time. I did have to order some parts because I didn't have the multiple sizes of this I needed. So I'm gonna put you over here and we're going to just start. Okay guys, I'm gonna test this one. Oops. It helps if I actually put it to the right wires. So, hey! Well guys, got the second one done. We're halfway there. I'm probably not going to show you the other side because I want to get into a bench test in all the circuitry to make these flash. So I'm going to do that quickly off camera. So then we can get into making this flash like it's a working crossing light. Okay, so awkward view, but it's time. So we got an old battery here from the sedan. Battery box. And box after box after thingy-majiggy. Okay, so we're going to mock this up here, do a test bench of this. So what are we doing? Well, we got a 12-volt battery over here off camera. We got a fuse panel because we want to fuse. On that battery, we're going to put some connections. And of course, my favorite, big old disconnect. That way we can just kill the power just with one switch. We have some buttons to activate the crossing and the bell. Then we have something I haven't played with yet. These are timers. So I don't want this just to click on and have that bell ring for hours and hours and hours. So I'm going to have this set for a reasonable time to listen to a train bell go off. And this is going to be for the crossing light, and something probably, maybe an hour or two or something for that. And then this last thing is a flasher relay. So this should be able to flash the lights, and I can change it to hopefully kind of make it sync and match with a real crossing signal. So, do I know how to do this? Well, I know how to get to maybe here. This is kind of new. I haven't used this before, but this is fairly simple. This is going to be the hard part. These need a trigger to trigger them. So yeah, but we'll do a simple bench test and hopefully I can get it right. But the first things first. battery here. I always put my disconnects on my positive. So I'm gonna figure out how to do this. But also, I got a battery box since this is gonna be outside. I'm gonna quickly put it into the battery box. Hard to see here. This doesn't really fit like that. So we're just gonna have to fake it until we make it. So I'm gonna take this apart and change this around and see if I can make it work. So all we're gonna do is take that off like that. Move this like this. Gonna really make this thing upset. With some slight modifications. Okay, with some slight modification, we can do that. So, and hopefully, yeah, I got plenty of room for this to be up with the lid on. So kind of hard to see, but locks in well, and it's still up. Okay. Okay, next thing are these guys. These are pretty simple. Now my goal is to, when this is all said and done, everything's gonna fit in the battery box, and I'm just gonna have the wires be exposed, well, come out into the pole. Fuse box connects to these. Get this opened. Apparently something came loose in transit. Okay, so we'll get this back in. I'm gonna start with 10 amps. Fuses in here. These might be too small. I'll have to do some digging, but and figure that out. Here's my positive. Here's my negative. I'm gonna do it this way because this eventually will be plugged into here, and we'll just kind of move across. Okay, off camera, I got those wires set up so I can have power. Now, I'm trying to make sure I'm checking everything as I go. I know this is just a test bench right now, but it's easier to check now versus getting everything buttoned up and then realized you know, all your wiring doesn't work, so. Okay. Next task is these little guys. So, let's get this opened somehow. Okay, guys, so we have these connected for the battery. We got to work on this now. So, first things first, we got to get it to power. So, I had those pre-made right here. And let's remember. Okay, there's a trigger involved. This guy. There's a power source involved, and then my final output involved. So, and the trigger needs to be jumped. And this is not a very simple 2-button trigger. So, let's grab some stuff here. Okay, so positive from battery. And I connect that right there. Okay. So then we're gonna need a jump. Ugh, okay. So this is this one. So this powers the unit. And that needs to be connected into here. Okay. But also, there needs to be a jump from here to here. So we'll make that. And then I need to wire my switch. Which I get to ignore the green. So I'm just actually going to cut green. Okay. Then red and white goes into here. So this is a little wire harness for it. Black is ground, so I'm going to start adding my grounds in. And then my blue is actually my trigger, which needs to be trimmed. And it goes. Oop. Triggers 3. I need to make 2 jumpers for my negatives, one for my trigger and one for the power. Oops. Okay. And those need to be connected. So this one is actually going to power my bell. So I'm going to go grab my bell. You know, this thing. Okay. So my ground is going to go to my ground panel. Okay. And then my positive is going to go for this COM port right here. Apparently I need to trim and redo. Oh, I take that back. I need to actually open up this so it goes in. Duh. Well, come on. Now, I need to give it power. It's got power. Okay. So, I need to program this. So, hit the set. I want 1.3. Oh, before I forget. let's go 10 seconds. Just as trial. Thing I forgot to do is install the plug. Very carefully. Install the plug. Okay. Power back on. So I'm gonna trigger it. And turns off. Woohoo! Now I did 1.3 because of this. So I can start it and then stop it right away. So this is gonna go on top of the mount. I'll have to redo these wires because they're gonna have to be within the pole. But I think everything else is almost done except for I'm gonna mount this somewhere where it won't get wet and hopefully easy to press. And the next thing we're gonna have to do is do the same thing, but for the crossing signal. So we'll jump over there next. Okay guys, so off camera I finished rewiring this, so we got all new wire in it. To make it easy, one side's hooked up to this post, this side is hooked up to this post, all my grounds are right here. We're not going to start with the timer, we're actually going to start with the flasher. So let me go get that. So we have this little flasher, and what I did is made a wiring harness basically. So we have our positive goes to this wire right now, so I can just use a small little battery to test this out. Then I have my negative. I have two connections, one to the temporary battery, and then this is going to actually go for the signal. And then we have out 1 and out 2, and I just color coordinated it, so we're going to have 2 here. I left my top post open for this, so we're gonna put my 2 lights in and my 1 ground and find the nuts here. Woo! Did not mean to do that. Now I'm trying to keep this hole open, this hole open, and then this hole open. So I'm gonna put the battery up here because my little wires don't reach right now. But this is just to test the flashing. Let me back you guys up. That looks pretty good, I think. Okay, so that's good. I'm gonna disconnect this for a second. Now we wanna wire this up with the trigger and a timer. So I've duplicated everything like we did on the first one. So let me see. Okay, so we have our switch, goes into our positive. We have our jumper. We have our grounds, our trigger. Green doesn't do anything. So I need to interrupt and put my positive into here, my ground into here, and my battery sources. Okay, so screwdriver. So this is just a test bench until I get this figured out, bugs worked out. Added a switch. This is my trigger for this, and that should go to this. So if I did everything right and I programmed this, all I should have to do is click that. And then it will cycle for the program time and then switch off. Let's see here. Perfect. And if I did it right too, I can trigger this once. And trigger again, turns off. Our test benches are done. We've proven that these work, that we can just do what we need to do, activate the bell, activate the flashing. I do have to get these things cleaned up, and I'll get this actually onto that fuse box, and then all this bunned up to make it look nice and neat. The mounting hardware in, and that way we can get this on the pole. So that will be a separate video because I need to either ask for help, or what's probably going to happen is I'm going to make some contraption to put this up so I can get it bolted in place. We'll see what happens. Okay, guys. Thank you for watching. If you want any more detailed of how to do this or parts lists, let me know. I'm doing this for fun. I'm doing this for, well, Seth's father, who was nice enough to give me this. Oh, before I forget, I'll be right back. Ugh. For all you fanboys in the railroad, here's one of those heavy-duty chargers. Yeah. Do I know how to use it? Absolutely not. Is it freaking cool? It is. I'll kind of put in the description the model name and all that, and I'll probably put hopefully a still picture somewhere here to show you. If you have a clue how to use this, let me know. If you know some videos, tag them in the bottom. That'd help me a lot to figure out what that is, because it's cool, but I don't know how to use it, and I don't want to blow anything up. Well, stay tuned to the next video where we'll get this up on that pole. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.
Leroy Dragon!